What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Srtfied, and I'm back with another video for y'all, man. If this is your first time on this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button ASAP. So what I got going on today, and as you can see behind me sitting right there, that thing is beautiful. Today officially starts Project Mr. Ready RT. Yep, if you haven't seen my last video, I gave y'all a teaser saying that I got a project I'm working on this. So today officially starts that project. So what my boy wanted me to do is to do a full cardio system upgrade on this car. He already has subs in it, but it just didn't sound as good as he expected to. The subs sound actually pretty good, but just overall, just everything else, trying to integrate that sub with the factory setup just wasn't cutting it for him. So what we're gonna do is do a full system upgrade, and then we go on the next day. I ain't gonna say the next day, the following week, when I actually have time, we're gonna do a full paint correction and ceramic coating on this car. So it's gonna look good and sound good, so stay tuned. So he already has a sub and amp installed in the car, so he wanted me to upgrade the factory speakers in the car and also add a 4-channel amplifier and sound processor to everything. For those that have chargers with systems, I know subs definitely help with the bass, but if you really want your car to sound good and as best as it can, you definitely want to upgrade your front door speakers, dash speakers, and rear deck speakers, and add a sound processor. The sound processor is probably the biggest addition, in my opinion, or biggest improvement, in my opinion, that makes a tremendous difference on how your car sounds overall. So those are the subs that he has already had. I took them out just because I need to get into that area in the trunk, and it just gives me more room to wire everything up. But he's adding the JL Audio RD400 to power pretty much everything else. The sound processor that he's going with is the Rockford DSR1 digital sound processor. I'm not really going to go into detail of what the sound processor does. Feel free to go online and Google the DSR1, but it is an all-in-one digital sound processor. So you can pretty much tune your system via Bluetooth or a laptop, and it does give you time alignment. I'm pretty sure it's a 32 band. I personally have a Audison sound processor in mine, but I'm not sure what this one has. I'll definitely go over that in a different video. But for today, that's the sound processor he's going with. Got some other goodies, some reducers, wire reducers, since we're going with 0 gauge wiring. This amp can only hold up to 4 gauge. So we have some reducers just so we have a clean install. We also have load resistors, pretty much, well, inline filters. What these do, these are going to be attached to the dash speakers, which his dash speakers are going to be replaced with the JBL GTO 329s. These are 3.5-inch dash speakers. They fit perfectly in the dash. The only thing that you have to do around this edge, which I'll show you guys, there's a plastic, almost like a plastic spacer on those that you have to trim a little bit in order to get the cover in the dash to fit back down snug. Otherwise it'll stick up and you won't be able to clip your cover back down. But yeah, this is what these resistors get wired into to not allow a certain frequencies. They're bass blockers. I couldn't think of the word. They're bass blockers. Pretty much block the bass from being sent to these speakers. So only thing you have is the frequency that the type of frequencies that you want from your bass blockers. These are 400 hertz and up. Everything 400 hertz and down is being filtered out, so you don't get any bass or anything below that frequency range to go to your speakers. They do have different frequency ranges for those that want a different type of frequency bass blocker. They have 200 hertz, 100 hertz, whatever. This right here, I wish I knew they made when I did the system in my car, because it would have made things a lot easier. In order to wire in the sound processor, I have to get the amplified signal from the factory speaker cable. So what this does is your factory amplifier gets plugged into this end, and this goes back into the factory amplifier. However, it already comes pre-cut and pre-wired for the leads that you need to run to your digital sound processor. So it makes things super easy. I really made this sound really simple, but it's not as simple. The wiring portion is not as simple as people think it is. That's probably gonna be the longest portion of my day right here. Obviously power and ground wire for the amplifier. These are going to be the replacements in his front and back, front door and the back dash. The JBL GTO 939 three-way 6x9s. For those that don't know, yes, we have 6x9s in the front doors and rear deck. So that's what that's going to be replaced by. And then obviously your installation accessories such as your RCA cables, signal cables, my signal cables, my RCA cables that will be spliced into the actual speaker wire to run to the actual sound processor. Then speaker wire and distribution blocks. Since he has 2 amplifiers, this one's getting installed. He already has another one installed in the vehicle for his sub. So some distribution blocks to be able to do a clean install with the power wire. And then over here, I have some installation accessories. These are some fuse taps. What I see a lot of people do, or what I've seen a lot of stereo shops do, in order to get the remote wire to power your amplifiers, they generally run a wire into one of your accessory fuses. Why are you being nosy? To run a wire into one of your accessory fuses and then back to your amplifier. Though it works, I'm real big on oh man, excuse me y'all. but yeah, in order it works, but I like to have a real clean install, and these fuse taps definitely help out. I have a soldering iron because I don't really like to use wire crimps too often. I think using a solder iron and soldering your wires is just a better connection, and you don't have to worry about your wire splices or connectors coming loose or getting corrosion. It just makes it a cleaner install. These are wire ferrules. These definitely will be used for my power and ground wires to be installed in the amp. I'm actually going to be using those for his sub amp. A lot of people tend to just strip the wire in from your 0, 4, or whatever gauge wire you use for your power and ground, and they just stick it in there. And then sometimes you have those loose little wire frays that stick out and could cause problems, or just doesn't look like a clean install. I like to use ferrules for a seamless and clean install. And then obviously your heat shrink. For those that do not have this kit is amazing. It has literally every size that I will need to use heat shrink, and then of course a heat gun. Yep, those are my accessories. So let's get this thing started. All right, so what I like to start with is replacing these dash speakers. They're in here. In order to pull these things out, you definitely have to get in here, pull this little weather stripping off, go behind here, actually pull on it. Don't be scared to pull on it, but once you pull on it, there's a clip behind here that you have to take off that's attached to this, which I'll show you guys in a second. Do both sides, and then this will actually raise up from the back. So I'll show you guys once I get these things out so I can show you the clip. All right, so in order to get this out, you have to pull on it. These are the little clips that I'm talking about. You just have to put a little force behind it and they will pop out. But this is the little strap that you have to get off. There's a little tab on the back right here. You press down on this tab. Once you get the clip out, you just kind of pull on it, wiggle it, boom. These little tabs back here, and there's 2 clips and this little strap right here. And that's it. Do the other side, and then I'll show you how to pull the front portion off. All right, the other side is off. So it's gonna be difficult to try to hold a camera and do it at the same time. I will show you guys once I get the clips popped out, but what I like to do is I like to lift up on one of these edges right here and then work my way all the way through, because there are clips just like these holding those down. I believe there's 2 on this side and 2 on that side, and then once they're out, you have to gently slide it over this little sensor right here and then pull this whole thing out at the same time. There is a rubber weather strip that's on the back, so if that tends to come off a little bit, don't worry about it, it slides right on. So I was able to get my finger on there just to give y'all a quick shot. Just run my finger all the way across. There we go. Don't let it scare you. Don't let it scare you. But yeah, these are the little clips right there, and as you go across, you'll be able to pull it out. So I got all of the clips off finally. When you guys do this, if you guys have like one of those panel removal tools, it'll definitely help out, because some of these clips can be a little hard to get out, and trying to do it with a finger, it can be a little painful, but I mean, it's doable. So in order to get this out, I generally try to grab it in the middle and then try to wiggle it to where it comes out evenly, so you don't accidentally scratch or rupture anything on the sides, because there is wiring. Be careful when you pull it out. And there she goes. All right, so for the dash speakers, I don't know if you guys can really see it. In order to get these screws out, yeah, you can try to use a Phillips head on this, but it's going to be pretty difficult because the windshield's going to be in the way. So yes, you can also use a ratchet, which I like to use, and this is probably the best investment in order to do those dash speakers, is to get one of those mini ratchets. And it is, those screws are a, where is it at, 1/4 inch. They are not metric. Just so y'all know, it's a 1/4 inch screw in order to get these out. So in order to disconnect the speaker, there's a little tab right here. You press on this little tab and slide the connector off. All right, so for the back speakers, you definitely have to take this rear panel off. In order to be able to slide this panel forward, you have to take the bolsters, rear seat bolsters out. So I already have one off over there, but it's pretty simple. You have a 10mm bolt right here that needs to be removed, and on the back here, you have to kind of lift this out. Not sure if you can see it in there, but there's a clip in there that you have to get to. I'm gonna show you guys, since I got the other side off, I'll be able to show it to you. There's a clip right here. You have to get like a flathead in there and press down on this piece right here with a flathead in order to slide this out, and then it comes right off. So it's literally just this bolt and this clip right here, and then you can get these side bolsters out. All right, seat bolsters are removed. So the only thing that's left before you can slide this piece out is to remove these little tabs right there, and then you'll be able to slide it out. The only problem is, in order to actually get it out the car, you would probably have to remove the seat belt from up there, unbolt it, but we're not going to do that. I'm just going to slide it out on top of the seat to access the rear speakers. Just like that, you have it out. Boom. Now you got access to your rear speakers. So to get these speakers out, you definitely need a 8mm socket. Again, this short ratchet will be a lifesaver, especially for this back bolt back here. Because as you can see, I barely have clearance to even get to it with the window right here. So
that's a definite lifesaver. But yeah, once you get the 8mm, take these full bolts out. You definitely need to unplug them underneath first. There is a cover back here that is real simple to take off. There's a couple of push clips that you just need to take off, and then it just drops down and you can slide it right on out of the trunk. But yeah, these clips, in order to take them off, is pretty much on like so. In there, you press this little button right here and slide it right out of the little socket. And that is it. Once you get these bolts out, you can't really lift up on it. You can try to push up on it from the bottom, but there's a seal around here that that's on the speaker that kind of seals the speaker on there. So what I do is I take a Phillips head, don't go all the way underneath if you're trying to damage the speaker, and just lift up on it a little bit. Just pry up on it. Once you pry up on it, you'll be able to get underneath and get the speaker removed. Just like such. And this little seal I was talking about is this little seal right here that sticks onto the back of this. So there you go. And just like that, the new speakers are in. So got everything put back in. I got a little frustrated, but just to let y'all know, this piece right here is a pain in the butt to slide back in. There is a wire, almost like a wiring harness that runs from here down to the back window. I think that's to control the rear window heating elements. However, to try to slide this over that wiring harness, I guess an easier way to be able to take this piece off right here, but I didn't want to go that far into taking that piece off. So sliding this back in, just this one area over there was a pain in the butt to try to get it over the wire. But with patience, if you get frustrated, just take a quick moment and take a break. But with patience, you'll be able to slide it over. You definitely have to get your hand back there and maneuver it some. But this side is super easy to slide on. But yeah, next step. For the front doors are actually really simple. I'm only going to show y'all how to do one side because the other side is identical, minus the controls for your seats and minus the plug for the gas tank release. So, but for this, it's the same. For the door handle and all that stuff, it's the same. So I'm gonna show y'all this side, and the other side is identical. First, you wanna get a flathead or something small in here and pop this little clip out. And of course I drop it. There's a Phillips head screw in here. You have to pop this little, pop it out on the side in order to do so. Don't press it hard, just press it enough to where it sinks in. There you go, boom. Then you'll be able to get underneath. This is why a panel remove tool will be so much easier, and you'll be able to take it out. Just that simple. And then there's a Phillips head right there. Got the clip out, this screw out, and that screw. There's one more screw in here that we got to take off. Remove this panel, and then there's a screw behind there. Just for quick reference, once you pop that little cap off, this Phillips head screw has to be removed as well. Alright, so the screw is removed. The only thing that's left is to pop these doors. So I generally start back here, give it a little tug, or start up here. And it comes loose. There we go. There we go. Like I said, give it a little tug and it'll pop those clips right off. Boom. Simple as that. just to show y'all, these are the little things that you're popping off. But be careful when you try to pull it off, because you do have the wiring underneath that you have to get off. I won't be able to show y'all on video how to remove the wiring. Pretty much you have to hold this whole door up. You're gonna slide it up. You definitely want to have the window rolled down. You're gonna have to slide it up over the to pretty much get this little seal off the insert, and then you have to pull off, pretty much hold it up and then pull off the wires to the respective connectors, and then you'll be able to take the door off, and also disconnect the door handle assembly. All right, door panel is off. So the connectors, there's this piece right here actually pops out on the front panel, and you can slide it in underneath like that to where you don't have to take these off. But if you don't want to take this piece off, you'd have to remove this connector by pressing this little tab, and then remove this by squeezing these little prongs in, sliding this back, and then removing that by following these grooves and sliding that out. Then you'll be able to leave just that piece on the door. This connector right here, which goes to that piece right there, your door light connector, and your window switches. And then you can start removing your speakers. All right, so to get these out, you definitely need a hex head screwdriver. It is a T25 hex head to get these off. All right, once you get them off, there is a clip back here. You press this little button and slide this piece off. I'm gonna try to do it with the camera in one hand. Press this little button and boom, slides right out. And we got the new speaker installed. Now, mind you, a lot of speakers, they claim they're direct fit, but you have to slightly modify these holes. So with this speaker, these two lined up perfectly, and these two were completely off. So I had to drill new holes to be able to mount the new mounting screws in here, but it is snug. Put the door panel back on and we'll start on the other side. All right, so I got the door panel back on. Just real quick, there's this weather stripping in here. I highly suggest you remove this from the actual door panel before installing the door panel, due to the clips that are on here. It makes it much easier if you just remove that weather strip, install it on the actual lip of the door itself, and then press the door panel onto the clips. It makes it much easier. But to take it off, I would take the whole thing out and just slide the weather strip off with the door panel. All right guys, so to reach the factory amplifier and to wire in that harness, or to tap into your speaker wires from the factory amplifier, you have to get through here. You have to remove this panel, this down here, and your factory amplifier will be down here. So I'm gonna remove this panel first, and then I'll show you what else needs to be removed so you can remove this. So if you want to get a pry tool or a flathead, you just slide it underneath and just kind of pry out a little bit, and then it comes out as such. It is behind this little weather stripping, so just pull it out, and then boom, there are no screws holding this panel on. Next, we will take off this screw and that screw, and then you'll be able to pop this out. There are a couple of clips up here that look similar to this that pop out, and then you can disconnect these controls, and then this whole piece will come out. To get these this clip out right there, and then up top you have this clip and that one over there. One thing I forgot to add, you definitely want to disconnect your parking brake, otherwise you won't be able to get it off. So disconnect that first and then pull it out. And just for reference, these little screws on the side are 9/32, so I can see it. All right, next step. Got this thing propped up. There's a special tool I believe that you have to use to remove that. But I just popped it out the way like this, just to give me enough access to get underneath here. And then in order to run the wire from the harness through here and then cleanly through the panels, you have to pop this out. You just lift up and lift away. There's these 4 clips right there, and then that's it for that. And then to access your factory amp is right there, and all the connections for it are right there. That little white connector right there. Well, both of them actually. And that's where your factory amp is, and that's where you can tap into your amplified speaker signal if you don't want to do it from the actual speaker themselves. It's kind of hard to tap into the front doors just because everything's running through here, and just makes it easier to tap into it from the amp if you're trying to get the dash and front door speakers tapped into. The rear speakers are real simple just because it's right there in the trunk, but it also depends on where you're mounting your sound processors. So alright, so I just got done wiring in the bass blocker. For those that don't know how to wire bass blockers, you pretty much wire these into the positive side of your speaker connector and then to your speaker, and then the other one you just wire just a general wire for your negative side. As far as the 3.5 inch speakers, like I said, there's a lip on here that needs to be trimmed. If I were to just install this right there, yes, it fits. However, it barely fits over the top of the cover that goes on there. So in order for it to properly fit without it sticking out, you have to trim this off a little bit. I'm gonna say about half of it needs to come off for it to fit properly. All right, dash speakers are in. Now it's time to tackle the hard part. As y'all can see, I already have a mess down here. That's the pack harness that's already installed. I just gotta wire everything back to the sound processor. Actually, real quick, before we even put these things on, let's do a test on these speakers before we start wiring in the sound processor to make sure everything is planned, because once you start plugging in the harness and everything, you won't be able to hear anything until the actual sound processor is wired in and playing. So for right now,
updated, then Lauren London actually filed for guardianship service for her son, just to make sure her son
everything goes. That's
this is a throwback joint from 2016. Matter of fact, Tory Lanez took the beat from this from a song from
rear
the
right.
90s.
I mean rear left.
On Sirius XM, the heat.
Rear right. Everything is good. So we are good. So let's put this back together and then we'll tackle that. So if you notice, yes, I kind of went backwards. I started taking this stuff off before I attacked the dash speakers. I did need to get run to the store to get a set of connectors. So that's why I ended up leaving this last before tackling the sound processor. So get this stuff back put on and then we're gonna get to the sound processor. So next step will be y'all seeing how everything is wired up. All right, YouTube, so I had to take a quick break from doing the install because I am starving. So far what we got done is all the speakers, dash, front doors, and rear deck speakers got replaced, and I'm about to start on the sound processor. Right now it's 3:50 p.m. I started at 8 o'clock this morning, and more than likely after I get this food in my stomach, I'm probably not gonna finish up today. So we're gonna make this a 2-part video, y'all. Tomorrow I'll get hot and heavy on the install of the sound processor and the wiring up of the amps. So tomorrow I will finish up the install. So that's gonna wrap it up for today, y'all. I hope you liked the contents of this video. If you did, make sure y'all smash that like button. Also, make sure y'all smash that subscribe button for me. I really appreciate y'all. Hit that notification bell so y'all don't miss any exclusive content. And until next time, I hope y'all have a good day.